Guys, I'm excited to share a book with you today about um, overcoming your fears. This is by one of our favorite authors, Patricia Polacco. It is called Thunkdercake. Before we start, I want you to think in your head, what do you think a Thunkdercake could be? If you've never read this story, I've never heard of that before, a Thunkdercake. So I want you to think in your head, what is a Thunkdercake? What could that be? So, like I said, this is a story about overcoming your fears. I'm going to read the story from beginning to end, and I just want you to tell me at the end. You can comment on my post, or you can talk with your family members about how the girl, our main character, is this little girl right here, how does she change from the beginning to the end of the story? Okay, so we're focusing on character change. How does she change? Thunkdercake by Patricia Polacco. Grandma looked at the horizon, drew a deep breath, and said, "This is Thunkdercake baking weather, all right. Looks like a storm's a-comin' to me." "Child, you've come out from under that bed. It's only thunder you're hearing," my grandma said. Seems like she's a little bit afraid of the thunder. Let's see her feet. Her eyes surveyed the black clouds away off in the distance, and then she strode into the kitchen. Her worn hands pulled a thick book from the shelf above the wood stove. "Let's find that recipe, child," she crowed as she lovingly fingered the grease-stained pages to a creased spot. "Here it is, Thunkdercake." She carefully penned the ingredients on a piece of notepaper. "Now, let's gather all the things we'll need," she exclaimed as she scurried towards the back door. We were by the barn door when a huge bolt of lightning flashed. I started counting, like Grandma told me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the thunder roared. 10 miles. It's 10 miles away, Grandma said as she looked at the sky. "About an hour away, I'd say. You'll have to hurry, child. Gather the eggs careful like," she said. Eggs from mean old Nellie Pick Hen. I was scared. I knew she would try to peck me. "I'm here. She won't hurt you. Just get them eggs," Grandma said softly. The lightning flashed again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I counted. 9 miles, Grandma reminded me. Milk was next. Milk from old Kick Cow. As Grandma milked her, Kick Cow turned and looked mean right at me. I was scared. She looked so big. Zip went the lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I counted. Broom went the thunder. 8 miles, child, Grandma cooed. Now we have to get chocolate and sugar and flour from the dry shed. I was scared as we walked down the path from the farmhouse through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. Suddenly the lightning slit the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I counted. Boom, ba-boom, crashed the thunder. It scared me a lot, but I kept walking with Grandma. Another jagged edge of lightning flashed as I crept to the dry shed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I counted. Crackle, crackle, boom, kaboom, the thunder bellowed. It was dark, and I was scared. "I'm here, child," Grandma said softly from the doorway. Hurry now, we haven't gotten much time. We've got everything but the secret ingredient. I wonder what the secret ingredient is. Have you guys ever counted the seconds between lightning and thunder? I remember doing that when I was little to figure out how far a storm was. 3 overripe tomatoes and some strawberries, Grandma whispered as she squinted at the list. I climbed up high on the trellis. The ground looked a long way down. I was scared. I'm here, child, she said. Her voice was steady and soft. You won't fall. I reached 3 luscious tomatoes while she picked strawberries. Lightning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I counted. Kabang! Boom! The thunder growled. I'm noticing that the author puts lots of onomatopoeias in our story. It says kabang, kaboom. Okay? Those are onomatopoeias. Those are sound words. They're words that actually sound like a sound that they'd be making if you heard them. We hurried back to the house in the warm kitchen and we measured the ingredients. I poured them into the mixing bowl while Grandma mixed. I churned butter for the frosting and melted chocolate. Finally, we poured the batter into the cake pans and put them into the oven together. Lightning lit the kitchen. I only counted to 3 and the thunder rumbled and crashed. 3 miles away, Grandma said, and the cake is in the oven. We made it. We'll have a real thunder cake. As we waited for the cake, Grandma looked out the window for a long time. Why, you aren't afraid of thunder. You're too brave, she said as she looked right at me. I am not brave, Grandma, I said. I was under the bed, remember? But you got out from under it, she answered. And you got eggs from the mean old Nellie Peck hen. You got milk from the old kit cow. You went through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. You climbed the trellis in the barnyard. From where I sit, only a very brave person could have done all those things. I thought and thought as the storm rumbled closer. She was right. I was brave. Brave people can't be afraid of a sound, child, she said as we spread out the tablecloth and set the table. When we were done, we hurried into the kitchen to take the cake out of the oven. After the cake had cooled, we frosted it. Just then, the lightning flashed, and this time it lit the whole sky. Even before the last flash had faded, the thunder rolled, boomed, crashed, and broomed just above us. The storm was here. Perfect, Grandma cooed, just perfect. She beamed as she added the last strawberry to the glistening chocolate frosting on top of the thunder cake. As rain poured down on our roof, Grandma cut a wedge for each of us. She poured us steaming cups of tea from the samovar. When the thunder roared above us so hard it shook the windows and rattled the dishes in the cupboards, we just smiled and ate our thunder cake. From that time on, I never feared the voice of thunder again. And then we have a recipe for thunder cake. I'm gonna post this recipe as well so you guys can maybe make thunder cake because there's supposed to be a big storm today, actually, and that's why I chose this book. I want to read you the front cover too because, as we know, Patricia Polacco often writes realistic fiction stories that actually are experiences that she had in her own life. They're based on experiences she had. So I'm going to read you the inside front cover. On sultry summer days at my grandma's farm in Michigan, the air gets damp and heavy. Storm clouds drift low over the fields, birds fly close to the ground, the clouds glow for an instant with a sharp crackling light, and then a roaring, low, tumbling sound of thunder makes the windows shudder in their panes. The sound used to scare me when I was little. I loved to go to Grandma's house. Babushka, as I used to call my grandma, we had come from Russia years before. But I feared Michigan's thunderstorms. I feared the sound of thunder more than anything. I always hid under the bed when the storm moved near the farmhouse. This is the story of how my grandma, my babushka, helped me overcome my fear of thunderstorms. All right, so before we read the book, I asked you to think about how the little girl, who we actually know as Patricia Polacco, how she changed from the beginning to the end of the story. How did her feelings about herself and how did she change on the inside? How did those things change? And then what changed her? Was it the thunder cake that they made, or was it the experience that she had going and getting all the ingredients outside in the middle of that thunderstorm? Okay. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.